to the paper, the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it.
In the NFL that really plays in New York, so
that's fine.
And nobody said anything. Usually you get pushback like, no, the Jets. Nah.
Yo, there's like a I don't know where exactly it is, but there's like a Buffalo Bills like bar.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah,
we looked them up already.
Because one of my friends that live out there, he from Buffalo. He go to during the football season, he be there every Sunday.
Yeah, bro.
Nothing but Bills fans.
We immediately, once we realized we secured this apartment and shit, we was like, all right, let's look for some Bills bars. And we thought we wasn't gonna find none. We found like 3. I was like, hey, yo, Buffalo Bills bars in New York City.
That's fire.
And then pictures and shit, them just be looking live, bro. I was like, oh, there's mad niggas in here? Okay, yeah, we there.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of a No Label Convo. Here with my boy Nell.
Yo.
Shouts out to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube as normal, liking on Instagram, following on Instagram, sharing. Follow us on Twitter at No Label the Pod, Facebook, No Label the Podcast. Now, go ahead and get into the sponsor.
Word, shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to Guap Coin.
Guap Coin.
Cryptocurrency for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. Keep that blockchain black. You feel me? So, man, today we sitting with a prolific writer out of Buffalo, New York. Man, he's very well versed in from what he's written poetry, raps, articles. You might have caught one of his articles in Vibe magazine. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
It's crazy. What was the Recording Academy for the Grammys? You might have read his article there. You know what I'm saying? Sitting with they call him the real Pen Griffey.
Denzel Washington,
Pim Parker, whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Where we sit with my boy MARC GRIFFIN, bro. How are you?
What's good, y'all boys? What's good? Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Pleasure having you as well.
Yeah, man.
Sure, man. Hey, I'm just glad we were able to sit you down before you know what I mean, take flight to the next stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, you've been in Buffalo for your whole life, and now you about to you just got a new position?
Yeah, well, it's the same position, but started Vibe magazine May 31st, and it was like, yo, we need your ass in the city, so we relocating you. So I'm moving to New York City and shit. East Harlem is where me and MJ gonna be at, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be great, man.
That's fire. I heard you went to one of the greatest high schools in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, Tech High. You know,
come on,
you know.
Producing nothing but greatness, as you can see.
Clearly,
each guest. Mind you, this isn't planned either. We don't just look for like hashtag guests.
Nah,
it just happens that way.
Y'all had a couple city honors people up here. You know?
Yeah.
There's no bias.
One or two, you know, nothing crazy.
They were good guys, but
yeah, they're cool. Good fellas. Yeah, man. So, like, back at in high school, were you always just like into writing? You were doing sports or anything like that too?
I mean, I played football, but that was more so like my dad wanted me to do that. Like on some High School Musical shit. He wanted me to chase his dream. I was like, no, Dad. But I really wanted to just like be a rapper at that point. And so I would just be up and writing raps and everything. And I would just be going to like open mics, and I would perform at the school, whatever. But I also wrote like short films, short stories, and things like that. I would write MJ poetry all the time, like on some Love Jones shit, like just really getting in my bag. And I didn't know that was preparing me for, where I'm at now. It was just something that I was passionate about, you know. But, you know, shout out to Mrs. Ward, Mrs. Waller, Mrs. Robeson. They really held it down. Stefano. They really like saw that passion burning in me and whatnot. And I tapped into it, and I just never let it go. But I didn't think it would lead me here this fast. I knew it would lead me here. Yeah.
She's an AP English teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
She had us up there doing like Shakespeare performances, and I was just like, yo, let me be Hamlet. Let me go, bro. Like,
I am Hamlet.
Yeah, I was ready to go. So that passion has always been there. But yeah, like I said, I didn't think it would get me here this fast. Like I thought I'd have to wait 20 more years, but guess God had other plans, you know.
No, that's dope that you had a good experience with even in high school with right, like we was talking earlier, man. I had beef with all my English teachers except Miss Ward. Shout out to Miss Ward, but
Shout out to Miss Waller too, man.
Yeah, shout out to all of them, bro. English is for the kids. It's for the culture, bro.
nah, we was talking about I got in trouble for two. Like,
Oh, no, we don't need to go into detail. It's all right.
It's all love, Miss Waller. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's trying to bring the best out of me. I understood.
That's crazy.
I was definitely gonna tell it, but shoot. So first off, what was your rap name?
Well, it was just Mark Griffin at first. Well, nah, I lied. It was like Kaz Redder or some shit like that. I don't even know. Honestly, I looked at Wiz Khalifa and I was like, I need something like that. Something cool as Wiz Khalifa. So I came up with Kaz Redder. That shit was lame as hell. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be Mark Griffin. So I was like, yo, Kanye, that's his real name. So this is who I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be Mark Griffin. And then I changed it a third time and final time to Atlas Wave, which was just my gamer name on the PlayStation. And that shit was raw for like a little second. And then I stopped rapping. And I decided to pivot to writing. So
Coffee.
yeah.
What made you stop rapping?
Shit wasn't moving the way I thought it should have been. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm talented as hell. But the passion that I'm putting into it is not gonna really move it to Grammy levels and whatnot. And I acknowledge that in myself. Like, yo, I don't really got the drive to get myself to where I need to be a successful rapper so I can be proud of. So either I need to quit my day job and just go extremely hard with this and put my chips all in, or I should probably stop. So I was like, yo, I quit. So I decided to do something else because I was still hungry for writing and whatnot. And
Was this during high school or was it after?
this was after. This was after college. This was actually 3 years ago. And at that time, I was still working on a tape with my boy Seth. He goes by Pen Pal. Shout out to him. That's my guy. But yeah, I could just feel like the passion was like fleeting. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that was like sticking. It wasn't a palpable thing anymore that I could feel for, say, journaling and short stories and whatnot. And I found myself just drifting further and further away from the act of rapping, but diving deeper into the art of rapping. You know what I mean? And then that's what led me into picking up that pen and really like going crazy with it and analyzing albums and mixtapes and looking through my old composition notebooks and looking at my first album review, which was like, I think it was D4L's Down for Life. And I reviewed that shit.
That's a wild
That's
review.
a wild, hey.
A deep dive on Laffy Taffy.
I did. Like that was like something I did as a kid, and it was terrible. And
As Fable raised his shoe to his ear.
and he just spaceships over Baghdad. Like, yo, bro. But I was really into it as a kid, and it was just something that I was like, yo, I want to get back to that. Like, I don't want to lose my love for rap. Like, because I don't think I can ever. It's my culture.
Yeah.
It's our culture. I don't think I'll ever lose that. But I want to make sure that I'm always connected to it. So if I stop rapping, maybe I should do something that keeps me in the eyes of hip hop music. And journalism did that for me. So
That's right. So when you were in college, did you study journalism or writing?
I was a English and literature studies major after I switched it from English education. So I switched my major in like the fourth quarter, the last hour, to the dismay and disapproval of my parents. But my dad came around eventually and was like, it's your life, dude. Do what you got to do. I was like, all right, bet. So I changed that shit like right before the end of fall semester, 2015. And I was like, I don't want to be a teacher no more. I just want to fucking write. So I went ahead and I went all chips, all in. I was like, this is what I'm doing. And of course, that was met with, the usual, English majors don't get jobs. Ain't no jobs out here for English majors. Not sure if y'all ever heard that before.
It's
but,
so many. It's a lot of people who want to teach literature. But
yeah, bruh. But it's like,
it's hard. It's a hard position to fill.
and I was like, yo, I can be a writer. If there was a laugh track for my life, I think God would have hit it right there, like laugh track. Because I don't think anybody really believed that I could like take it this far, to be honest, except for maybe me and the universe. And I knew I was gonna like, for real, like not on no like cocky shit. I really did. Like go through all my tweets. I don't delete nothing. You can find tweets from 2013.
I saw some of your you posted some of your old tweets. I was like, oh shit, he really spoke this one into existence.
Yeah, and on Facebook too, like from 10 years ago on May 6th, I signed my contract for Vibe magazine on May 6th, 2022. May 6th, 2010, 12 years ago. I wrote on Facebook that if I don't end up being a rapper, I would love to write for Vibe magazine. 12 years to the day that I signed the contract, bro. Like
that's
so
fire. Yeah, that's
and you
fire.
Can go on my Facebook, you can go on my Instagram. It's all there.
Yeah,
it's like it's there.
So
you were telling us before that you did a lot of work like prior to even getting to Vibe magazine, like reaching out to them constantly for what'd you say, 10 years you were constantly reaching
10
out?
years I was reaching out to Vibe, and they actually a little interesting tip. I don't want to say the woman's name, but when she entered, because she's no longer there, but when she interviewed me for the position, like it was like round 2 of the Vibe magazine interview, and she had some papers with her, and I was like, oh shoot, you got some questions for me. All right, let's get it. And she's like, no. I'm gonna read these to you. You let me know if they sound familiar. And she was reading them off, and the consistent words in there were like integrity and honesty and authentic, myself, shit like that. And she's like, does that sound familiar? And I was like, that kind of sounds like what I just said, answering a couple of your questions prior to this moment. And she was like, yeah, because these are your tips that you sent in over the past couple years, a long time. And she printed out my tips and brought them to the interview and was like, you've been plotting on this for a minute. And I was like, bro, I have. Like, that's
bruh.
I'm sure she respected that too.
Yeah,
like,
bro. Yeah, she did. She was like, yo, you're ambitious. Like, we like that. You're a go-getter. We like to see that. You know what I mean? So it was just like, damn, this is meant to be.
Yeah.
That's at least what I thought. You know what I mean? So I kept telling him too, like, I've admired Vibe magazine for like my whole life. Like, my sister used to have stacks of Vibe magazines and Complex or not Complex, Jet. Those old joints, oh my God. She used to have mad of them joints up in there. And I used to just go in there and I used to read them joints. I used to listen to her Walkman and fall asleep in her bed, listening to the music, reading those old magazines or whatnot. So I've always been like into Vibe's like voice and direction and everything that they've done and the history behind it. And the only Vibe magazine that I've kept over the years was the March 2005 issue with Gwen Stefani and Pharrell, and he's like posing in the front and she's in the back or whatever. And it was like a dual like interview between both of them, and it was just super sick, man, talking about fashion and whatnot. And I kept that for 17 years. You know what I mean? I stole it from the Buffalo Library, but I kept it. And it was just like, damn, I never thought that I would, like I said, stumble across my dream this early, but it happened. So
that's a fact.
Yeah.
And just even circling back again to like it coming into existence, that's the one magazine you kept, and you had the opportunity to sit with Pharrell
bro,
and interview him. Like,
crazy.
Can you walk us through that scenario?
Man. So it all started with me like just covering Pharrell news for Vibe magazine. My editor Chris asked me like, what I'm interested in. I was like, Skateboard P, you know what I mean? ERD, Tribe Called Quest, whatever, blah blah blah. And so I've just been getting like little PR news outings and whatnot from his team, from BBC, from Human Race, stuff like that. And I would cover it, you know what I mean? Just cover it, whatever. And then they started sending me packages. I got like free Human Race, like skincare and shit. I was like, oh, I'm a little influencer baddie now.
Blue check.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Got my blue check bag. And then they were like, yo, are you going to cover like the BBC New York Yankees collaboration? Excuse me. And I was like, of course. I was already going to do that anyways. I didn't have to even send that to me. I was going to do that. And so we did that, and I wrote that up. And I told her when, she can expect that to be up. And then she hit me like, actually, Pharrell is actually going to be at the game, throwing out the first pitch with his son. Like, do you want to take pictures of him? That is not what I was expecting her to say. I thought she was going to say interview. And I was like, I mean, I'm not a photographer, but I can learn real quick because that's my guy. Like, let's get it. We can do it. But then I was like, yo, I can do that, and I can also possibly interview if that's cool. And she was like, yeah, let me run it by my team or whatever. So my editor helped, and we fought for it, and they were like, yeah, we can get you a couple minutes with Pharrell, like 7 to 10 minutes. It was more like 15, but
that's hard.
It was fire. And when I met him, well, first of all, they flew me out to Yankee Stadium. I ain't never been to Yankee Stadium in my life. Stadium is fire. Go and see a Yankees game if you've never seen a Yankees game, you know what I mean? It's electrifying. It's crazy. It was like the Subway Series. It was Yankees versus Mets.
Oh, man.
Niggas about to fight and shit over these two, like old white men, too. It wasn't niggas. It was old white men going crazy. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Go ahead. But they was having a good time. I loved it. Anyhow, so I was like, damn, just taking it in, soaking it all in, met some good people. And then when I got on that field, bro, like after we walked through the tunnel and then we like walked up these like stairs and got like, bro, that shit felt like a goddamn baseball movie, bro. I'm like, yo, this shit fake as hell, bro. This is really fake as hell. And then I got on the field and it was just all these beautiful clouds and Yankee Stadium, just big ass Yankee Stadium. You got Aaron Judge and shit like on the big Jumbotron going crazy. And it's just, I look to my right, there's a big crowd and there was Pharrell. And it was just like, yo, man, that's really my idol, bro. Like, that's really like Kanye West seeing Hov for the first, like, this was that moment, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the moment I've been waiting 20 years of my life for, bro. Like, and I finally get to speak to this nigga.
Were you nervous?
I was nervous as hell, bro. But then as the closer I got, the more confident I became. Like, cause I don't know why, but whenever I'm uncomfortable, I feel like I've taught myself this. Like, my confidence level sort of reacts to the uncomfortability of whatever moment that I'm in. And it takes some mental training to do, because sometimes when you're nervous as hell, obviously hands get clammy and you skip over the words. But I just felt like the closer I got to him, more inspired I got, because it just validated everything that I've ever said in my life. I said I was going to meet this nigga. I said I was going to write for Vibe magazine. I've never been to Yankee Stadium. I said I would go. It all was happening on the same day. Like, so the closer I got, I was just like, yo, I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah,
and I was the only nigga dressed in bait. I was the only nigga with like Jeremy Lorenzo's Nike Air Fear of God. If he sees this, let me get that partnership. But I was the only nigga wearing all this crazy shit. Everybody else who was interviewing him was like, except for my other mans that I met from WWD. He was pretty fly too. But everybody else there was, no offense, but they're white. And they were dressed in like suits and beige button downs and very just
Corporate
like,
America shit.
Yeah, bro. And I was just like, damn. And he looked agitated, like he didn't want to answer them questions. Like, and I was like, oh shit, did I get him on the wrong day? But then I realized once I started talking to him, it wasn't that he didn't want to answer questions. He didn't want to answer those questions. Because they was asking about baseball and the history of baseball. And I'm like, bro, nigga, this is a BBC Yankees collaboration.
Right.
This is for culture. Like, this is streetwear and shit. You know what I mean? Like, one of his prime collaborators is Jay-Z. That nigga probably made the Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee can. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why we doing this, why he's doing this. You know what I mean? And I brought the questions that sort of sounded like I was studying everything that he was doing, that I was invested in the collaboration. And he lit up. He was excited. He was happy. Had the nigga dancing halfway through the interview because he was so excited about the questions I was asking him. It was so cool, bro. Like, he really a down-to-earth dude. So I got to shake his hand and give him dap and shit. And it was just, bro, like...
Yeah, that's a moment, man.
It was a moment for real. And I never forget that moment, bro. Like, really talking to this nigga, so.
Yeah, man. So it's like, it's been dope hearing like just your start point, and then like that interview was recent.
Yeah.
So
August 22nd.
Yeah. So like, I want to fill in that beginning point, because like a lot of people have that same dream of like, I want to be able to have this vision as a kid and say it, and then it happens however further in the future. So like, can you speak a little bit about that journey in between? I remember we were talking and you were saying like you were applying everywhere and it was hard. Nobody was opening the door for you.
Yeah. So when I first started, all right, well, let me take it back to like the starting point of this little mini journey, because I can't take it back all the way to 8 years old. We'd be here all day. So I'll just take it back to like top of 2020. So 2020, I quit my job. Top of 2020, I quit my job at Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I was like, FedEx said they're gonna give your boy the bag. This is already starting off terrible. So I was like, all right, bet. So they was like, they're gonna give me $22 an hour. Them niggas lied. And then the pandemic hit March 15th. I quit FedEx. So January to March 15th, quit that. And then I was just like, yo, man, them niggas ain't looking out for their employees and whatnot. Conditions in there were crazy. They didn't require nobody to wash their hands, wearing masks, nothing. I was just like, wow, that's nuts. I quit. Holla at your boy. I filed for unemployment. So March all the way to July 21st, didn't have a job. And I didn't have unemployment because my manager at FedEx, they sent him the papers and everything that he had to fill out for this specific job so I can get unemployment. It just sat on his desk the whole time. He didn't. I was suffering and struggling.
Why didn't he fill it out? Do you know why?
Because I quit. And he didn't like the way I quit. Because I basically put them boys on blast that they weren't taking care of their employees and shit like that. But nobody else wanted to, sort of vouch for what I was saying. Everybody was scared of the big FedEx, man. I'm like, bro, fuck these niggas. Like, they're not looking out for your best interests. If y'all boys caught COVID from one of these boxes that are getting transported from all over the world, they wouldn't care. And everyone was like, I was like, oh, all right. So I was like, whatever. Yeah. But because of that, allegedly, I feel like I was being punished for being an outspoken guy. So anyhow, in between that time of March and July, I was like doing DoorDash occasionally. I was depressed every day. And I really was like going through it, bro. Like this shit. I was writing still, but it was just, nobody was reading it. I put up this short story or whatever. I was so inspired by Get Out and everything else Jordan Peele did. And I was just like, yo, I want to write something like along those lines or whatever. It got 1 like, and that was my fiance, MJ. She held it down. And I was like, damn, that makes, I was like, damn, I appreciate that. But she's the one that kind of dug me out of this dark hole. And she kind of helped me like see through the light or whatever. And I'll never forget, she was like, she gave me some pet talk or whatever after she got off of work one day, and she was just like, yo, everybody goes through this shit and everybody, has those moments, but like, you gotta remember who you are. I was like, fam, I'm depressed. I don't want to hear that shit. But the next day, it really hit, like when I was in the shower and contemplating my life. I was like, damn, bro, this is really crazy. She's really looking out for me, and all I really got to do is just try to hold it in there and wait for unemployment to hit. Like, all my shit is going, like, my account was, like, overdrafted $75 at this point. Like, and then M&T Bank was like, hey, yo, you ain't got bread. We about to charge you for being broke. And I'm like, damn, nigga. Like,
yo, they really do that.
I'm like, yo, crazy. Leave me alone, bro. Like, I'm really going through it, dog. Like, they ain't care. So then my shit ended up being, like, a overdraft, like, 120. I was asking my little brother for money and shit. Like, I was asking my pops for money. I was trying to do anything and everything to just keep my shit together. Meanwhile, I'm just writing shit that nobody's reading.
Were you applying for?
I was applying for other jobs. Nobody was getting back to me. Nobody, bro. And I was applying to social working jobs because I have background in that. I was applying for teaching jobs because I have background in that, and I was applying to writing jobs. And writing jobs just never got back to me. They didn't say yes or no. They just never got back to me. And I was like, damn, bro. So then I eventually get a job July 21st, 22nd. And it's at this, I'm not going to say where it's at, but it's at this place in Buffalo, New York. It was a social working job, and I had to take care of people there. The reason why I don't want to say where it's at, because somebody died on my watch, but it wasn't my fault.
That's
It was wild. It was wild, bro. So like it was August 20th. The fuck? And one thing led to another. I found her unresponsive in the kitchen, like lodged between fucking the dishwashing. And
So you got the job in July, and then this happened in August.
in August,
So within a month.
within a month,
job.
literally a month,
Sheesh.
Shorty died. And I tried she was like heavier set and she was white. And I saw her, like, she was choking. She was like turning like red, purple, blue, light blue, and then back to dark blue, purple. And I was like, fam. And I'm literally like, I called 911. They told me to start doing compressions and everything. I was like, really. And I would always say, preface this with, I would always say that I'm Spider-Man and shit like that. Like, it's my favorite superhero. And I've been saying that since I was a kid. Like, you know what I mean? This was one of those moments where I was just like, nah, bro. Like, I don't even know. I don't even want to say that shit no more. Like, I like your words really have a lot of, and I'm trying to save this woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying my best to do what I can. And then the EMTs and everything, they come in and like, I get mushed out the way, and she literally died in my arms though before they came.
That's wild.
Wild as hell, bro. And I had to talk to detectives and shit, and the detectives did wear trench coats, and they did have like a lot of scruff on their beards. So that was like a little, you know, light moment. I was like, damn. I mean, at least these niggas kind of look exactly how I thought they would look. You know what I mean? But because I was trying to like cheer myself up, and
you gotta find the
I
light
do
in
so
there.
through humor. So I was like, at least these niggas kind of look like detectives. That's kind of hard, I guess. But I had to fill out like mad reports and shit, and I was calling my and this was overnight, by the way. So I was calling all three of my managers who said they would always be there in case of emergency overnight. Their phones are always on go. None of them answered. None of them. And so I was working from 11 to 7, and I was watching The Office, and I was doing some like summer graduate work or whatever. I was preparing myself for graduate school, which was coming in fall 2020. So after I did everything and wrote up the report and all that, I went back to the couch and I realized The Office was still on. And I literally just sat there that happened at 1:31. And I just sat there from 1:31 to 6 a.m. just sitting in my sorrow. Like, I was I'm not exaggerating. I literally just sat there for 5 hours.
Nah, that's it. Yeah, that's
Like, you know, that's what
response.
sorrow and grief would do to you and shit. And I was just like, bro, I fucking quit. I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm out of here. And when the staff came in that morning, I was like, yo, yeah. And they were like, so someone died? I was like, yeah, I quit. That was it. That was done.
Yeah.
And so then I got another job, another social working job in September. And I was at Hispanics United de Buffalo. Some shady shit was going on there, so that didn't last long. And then I went back to Big Brothers Big Sisters in November. I started my graduate classes in September, fall 2020. And I went back to Big Brothers Big Sisters November 2020. And I just let that rock. But before the year ended, of course, more drama ensued. So I had a perfect 4.0 at the glorious Buff State. I'm not going to say who this professor's name is because I already got he, she, they, them back already. So I don't want to. I don't want to give people. I don't want to give people clues on who this person might be. So I'm just saying all pronouns, so that way you niggas get mixed up. But I had a perfect 4.0. I was killing it, bro. Like I was there for journalism, communication. I was killing it, going crazy. And I had this terrible relationship with this professor who hated my writing because I blended like African American vernacular English slang with academic speech in my writing. he didn't like that. Said it was tacky. Nobody writes like that. Nobody will ever pay me for my writing.
Interesting.
So I was like, man, all right, bet. So I dropped his class, and I had a perfect 4.0, and I rode into the holiday season. You know what I mean? Big fours, we out here, it's lit. And then I got a call the first week of January from financial aid saying, because I dropped that class, I'm no longer eligible for financial aid because I had too many incompleted credits or whatever, because I went to Buff State in 2016. Yeah. And I dropped out before classes even started, but those classes and credits counted against me anyways. Crazy. So I was like, bro, and I didn't even get sad. I literally was like, yo, this is a sign from God. I'm not supposed to be doing this. My life is being auto-corrected by the universe. That's what's happening right now. I looked at it like a positive. I'm like, all right, the ancestors was looking out. But that nigga did say I wasn't going to get paid for my writing, so now I have to make him pay. So I literally turned up in 2021, and then that's where everything just went crazy. I was reaching out to black journalists and whatnot on Twitter and because I love Twitter. So I was using it like LinkedIn, Google, TikTok, I use Twitter so crazy. So I went to the search bar and I typed in like all these different black journalists that I love and admire and whatnot. And I reached out to at least like 20 or 30 of them. None of them got back, but Clinton Yates from ESPN's Around the Horn. He's the only one that got back to me. And he asked me, what did I mean? And he was like, you know what, better yet, here's my number. Give me a call. So now I'm calling Clinton Yates from ESPN's Around the Horn. So I'm like, bro, I love this show. I love this nigga. This is crazy. So we get on the phone. We talk for like 2 hours. He puts me on game. Didn't give me a job or nothing, but he just put me on game. And that's all I wanted.
That's hard.
Because I wanted some direction. He told me to save his number. He said if I'm ever in the D.C. area, hit him up so we can go and get some drinks. If he's ever in New York, he'll hit me up and we can get some drinks. And I was like, damn, bet. I got a mentor, and it's Clinton fucking Yates. So I was like, all right. And then with that, I was like, I'm about to go forth. I'm about to pitch, you know what I mean? So I reached out to Film Days around the end of January, like a day after my birthday, January 28th. And Film Days is this independent publication. And they said they'll pay me $15 to write this piece or whatever. And I was like, all right, bet. I did it on WandaVision. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm a real big nerd, nigga. You know
Marvel gang?
Yeah, Marvel gang in the house. So I was like, yeah, I know all about this. I'm about to kill this shit. Send it to them. They was like, nah, tweak that. I was like, all right. Tweaked it. Send it to them. They was like, nah, tweak that. I was like, all right. So this happens 5 more times. And then they say, yeah, nah, your voice really doesn't fit what we're looking for. It's too... There's so much slang in there. You're mixing it with like all these other academic words, and
it's too dark.
Yeah, and I was just like, bro, that's the same thing this nigga told me. Like, and so that shit almost moved me to tears because I'm like, bro, maybe I'm not really supposed to be a writer or whatever. And as soon as I had that thought, I was like, nah, fuck that. We about to turn up. So I was like, all right, we just gonna keep going. So I ended up getting like 2 bylines and like for Black History Month or whatever. It was cool. I was very excited. It was like $75, $35 was cool. But I felt like that was like a quota for like those publications, Black writers quota for February. You know how they reach out to niggas in February. And
for those who don't know, what's a byline?
A byline is when where it says by Mark Griffin, by Nelson. You know what I mean? Like that's what a byline is. So if you get a byline in GQ, that means you just got an article in GQ that says by Nelson Clark. So I got 2 of those pieces for Black History Month, and that was cool or whatever. It was fun. It was a great time. But I felt like it was just like I said, it was a quota piece for just me being Black, and they just needed to put some Black shit on their site. So March comes around, and I'm just like, damn, bro, like, I need to make this writing shit popping and feel validated in myself by getting something that I want. And so I got on Twitter again, and I was just like looking for pitches and all that. And while I'm doing that, I was like, you know what? This WandaVision piece is too fire. Let me put this on my Medium. And Medium, for people who don't know, is like your own free blog, essentially. You go to medium.com, and if you want to be a writer, you can just go on there, create an account, and you can just start writing free of charge. It could just be your own blog site, whatever. So I put WandaVision up on mine. Bro, the reception was nothing. Nobody did anything. Nobody liked it. Nobody retweeted it. There was no reception. No one cared. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So I was like, wow, that's not what I was expecting. I was like, what a plot twist. So I was like, well, this shit might be garbage. So then I got on Twitter and I was just looking for shit. And on March 12th, I came across this dude from The Face, Matthew Whitehouse, the editor of The Face. And he was looking for niggas who were knowledgeable in Marvel and DC comics. I was like, that is me. I'm your boy. So I sent him some samples. And the one sample I sent,
hold on, was he specifically looking for niggas? Or?
No, he was looking for writers with knowledge in Marvel and DC.
Gotcha.
Niggas and everyone else included. Yeah. So niggas and beyond. So niggas and beyond were reaching out to him and whatnot, and I reached out to him, and I used my Black History Month joints. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just use this WandaVision joint. It's actually on topic to what he. I was like, fuck it. I'm feeling risky today.
That's confidence right there.
I was like, let's get it. And so he hit me back on March 13th and was like, yo, I really love that WandaVision piece. I have an assignment for you. How would you like to interview Danny Ramirez from Marvel Studios and Disney's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
What?
Exactly. That's been my journey, bro. That right there. Magic. That right there.
What?
So the thing that was going to get me $10, $15 at film days, he said he was going to give me good amount of money for it. And it was like, it was a good amount of money. Like it was way more than it was what I would get in a regular 9-to-5 check, but I'm just writing 1,000 words.
That's hard.
Yeah. So, and that's without taxes. So whatever niggas make without taxes, 9-to-5, $15 an hour, that is exactly what I got without taxes. And I was like, bro, so this shit went from 15 to that.
Yeah.
15 to that. At the same article that these niggas told me that was trash, got me an interview with Danny Ramirez.
Just take them ears, take
Fire.
the right ear,
the
man.
same shit that my professor told me that voice is terrible. Got me an interview with Danny Ramirez.
Advice to people: anything your professor tells you that you're not going to be able to do, this isn't for you. Da da da. Take it and do the complete opposite. Whatever they say, do the complete opposite.
It's a fact.
Word.
Like bro, that shit.
They don't know what the fuck.
Nah,
Yeah.
and my MJ, like we celebrated. MJ got some champagne. We popped bottles, bro. It was like, damn, like this is like my first
rightfully
big,
so,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I
Rightfully
worked
so.
my ass off for this, and that was the first joint, the first big byline I got, and that was in The Face in the UK. And prior to that, though, I was like reaching out to a lot of publications in like Buffalo. Niggas was not trying to hear me out. Nobody was trying to give me a chance. No publications. I'm going on record saying no publications were giving me a chance. The first person in Buffalo to give me a chance writing was Chandra, but that would be like
Sneak vibes.
sneak vibing in the house, you feel me? And
Come
she
on,
was
Chandra.
the
Shout out
first
to Chandra,
person in
dog.
Buffalo to give me a chance on a journalism tip. But that came like months later, like August, July of 2021. But prior to that, like,
You reached out to her, or she reached out to you?
it was like she was like thinking about reaching out to me, and then I think I reached out to her, and then it was like I'll say it was a mutual thing for sure. It was like she's been admiring and I've been admiring, and we both fuck with each other from afar, and it was like, well, we should fuck with each other close. And so it was like, all right, bet, let's get it. And so she allowed and blessed me with the ability to join Sneak Vibin' that year, July or August 2021. I think it was July, because around that same time, I had an interview with Tesher and Jason Derulo. So, yeah, that was cool. But a lot of magazines and whatnot, publications around Buffalo, they wasn't giving your boy a chance. And that shit was very disheartening. But that was like from the advice of my father, like, yo, you should reach out to the Buffalo News. Like, yeah. And
Has any of them tried to like spin the block and double back?
no, not yet. Not yet.
yet.
I'm waiting for it. Yeah, it's
They
inevitable.
definitely are.
Screenshot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All them like not responding to my emails. The screenshots is in my phone. So I mean, if this ever reaches their ears, they might not want to double back because I will post it and be like,
Word.
yeah, this is where chasing your dreams gets you because this is real shit, bro.
It's so many like that story in itself is so inspirational towards any artist of any art form. Like that shit, like that's super like inspiring. Even from just like stuff we was doing. Like we was in the living room. You feel me? Like pure ideas.
Here, hey,
You know what I
hey.
mean? So for as a writer, like I know a lot of artists like they do the thing. They trying to put out content. They're trying to do podcasts.
Right.
But like we were speaking earlier, and like how reading articles itself, like it's making a comeback.
Yeah.
So if an artist was to wanted to get articles necessarily written on them, how would they go about approaching a writer?
So if an artist wants me to like write a review of their album or something, I mean, for me personally, just me, not every journalist, but just me, I don't think and this has happened a lot, which is why I don't think you should approach me asking me how much I charge for an album review. If I want to review your album, I'll review it. Like straight like that. For real. Like, I don't want to be paid $500 to fake the funk on how I feel about your album. That feels like payola. I'm not into that. I'm good on that, actually.
That's valid.
Yeah, so, but what I do is like, yo, if I fuck with it, I'll review it. That's it. Like, I guess my advice is just like, believe in your art, push that shit. I mean, you can ask niggas like, yo, check your shit out and stuff like that, but I guess don't really go crazy into the DMs, wilding.
Yeah.
Maybe like,
Right on my shit,
hey,
son.
if you got some time, check this out.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Or
Like,
something.
yo, like, check it out. You know what I mean? Like, if you fuck with it, I would love an interview or something, like, because I got a tour coming up and I want to spread the word. I respect that. Not, yo, I got six racks for you, my nigga. Like, this shit just dropped, hottest in the city. Like, what's good with it? Like, it's not. If you got to tell me it's the hottest in the city, that's crazy.
Super fact.
You know what I mean?
fact.
That's crazy. Like, I should just organically know, like, this nigga going crazy. I should probably tap in. That's my bad that I wasn't already hip. I should tap in. It's my bad. That's it. You know what I mean? But like all the people who I've reviewed their shit or I fucked with, like it's literally been me in my living room playing their shit loud as hell while I'm drinking whiskey or something, just chilling with MJ. And I'm like, yo, babe, I'm about to, well, hold on, let me paint the scene for you because it's loud as hell. Yo, babe, I'm about to write some shit. This shit hard. Like, yeah, 'cause you know what I mean? And I would really get in my bag and just start writing because I would feel moved by the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anybody who's really like confident about their shit, you know, you shouldn't be like, don't be that guy. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, you know what I mean? And I don't, it's not worth it. I think you should just make hot music and just let it speak for itself. You know what I mean?
That's valid.
Yeah, let it push itself. I mean, you can push it too, but just don't offering journalists 6 racks and shit to review your shit is crazy. That's kind of nuts, and that does happen.
I know it does.
Yeah,
It's because hip hop right now is in a weird place where it's so much pay to play, where everybody thinks, oh, I can just buy it.
yeah.
And it's like, no, there are people out here who still give a fuck about the art.
That's us. Yeah, that's us.
Literally, like,
Yeah. So I don't like. With that being said, like I have my own blog, right? In Search Of magazine, and that is purely passion. Like the music I listen to on there is music I fuck with. The music I put on there is music I fuck with. The artists I put on there is artists I fuck with. That I've just been digging through the metaphorical crates on Spotify and Apple Music and just looking for new music, like actively looking for new music that has come out this year or the past 3 months and going on Spotify, seeing how many monthly listeners they got. No, I don't mean, they got 1 million. I'm going to fuck with them. It's the opposite. Oh, they got 3,000. I want to fuck with you. Like, I take solace in the fact that you're a rising star, that you are someone who hasn't even been sort of stamped a star. You know what I mean? But I can hear it in
like the
your
qualities
rap.
are there.
You know what I mean? Like, I can hear it when Shorty sings. I can hear it when she's playing the trumpet or whatever. I can hear it when Homeboy's doing a guitar solo and shit. Like, yo, this nigga should be big. Shorty should be way big. This band should be way bigger. So I designed my blog to be the counterculture to whatever payola nonsense or pay to win culture that's happening right now. Like, I want to be, hip hop has always been the counterculture, right? But now it's the biggest genre in the world. So how do you counter the counter to the counterculture? So that's what my blog is. Like, it's called In Search Of Magazine. I'm only in search of shit that really moves me. That's it.
And what's the inspiration behind the name?
NERD's In Search Of from 2001. One of my, obviously, people who don't know NERD, Pharrell, Chad, Hugo, and Shay. There was a fourth member, but the nigga didn't make the cut. But NERD's In Search Of is like, changed my life, bro. I was in the first grade. I got the dirty version. My mom broke that CD. She threw that shit away because there's a song on there called Tape You, and it was about, if you've heard the album, you know what that's about, but Pharrell and them wanted to tape Shorty and her friend. I mean, doing things. And me in the first grade, maybe I shouldn't have been listening to that, but the chords on that were crazy, bro.
But Mom, you're not listening to the chords. I'm like,
you're not listening to what Chad's doing.
You don't think you
Chad is really going crazy right now. Never mind the lyrics. Like, Pharrell, he's exceptionally wilding right now, but these chords though. But yeah,
Chad doesn't get his credit.
He doesn't.
Nobody talks about Chad.
Never.
Unless you like really know.
Unless you really in the shit, like him or Shay. And I'm just like, bro. And then like people don't even know what the Neptunes are. We losing recipes. We losing recipes, bro. How you don't know the Neptunes? That's crazy. That's and that's coming from a Pharrell stan, so obviously I'm biased, but my nigga, it was a point, I think it was like a statistic that came out a while ago that said Pharrell at one point had like, and I could be exaggerating this, so I ain't about to give a specific number, but he was responsible for like a third of the music on the radio.
I remember that.
Come on.
Exactly what you're talking about.
I've seen that.
And it wasn't even just him. It was the Neptunes, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, Slave for You by Britney Spears was going crazy. But that wasn't just P. That Chad was going nuts on that. Justified by Justin Timberlake. That whole album, which was meant for Michael Jackson. But Michael passed on it and went to Justin. The rest is history. That sound?
I never knew that.
Whoo, that sound is
Never knew that.
crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what the blog is all about, though. Like, recapturing the way that music made me feel. You know what I mean? And obviously the way it made other people feel. Yeah. Like, when you heard Excuse Me, Miss with Hove and P, bro, come on.
Yeah, you had to feel something.
Come on. Like, I was
smooth as hell.
I was in the fifth grade two-stepping. I'm in the fifth grade two-stepping? That's crazy. That's wild. Like, anything that they have done, like, has been such a pivotal foundation for who I am musically. You know, obviously, as well as all the influence from my mom, my dad, my sister. But just that Neptune sound, bro, that it shaped such a big part of my life. And the best way I can pay homage to, you know, that legend, those legends, is name my shit after it, you know? Because, I mean, that album, In Search Of, was named after Leonard Nimoy, I think that's his name, from Star Trek. Or he plays on Star Trek, I believe. They got that name from one of his projects as well. So it's just sampling the sample that samples, you know what I mean? And we're keeping that nerd culture alive, but I'm also keeping black culture alive. So the kids who don't know what In Search Of, when you go to the About page and you figure it out, nerds out. Who the hell is it? Yeah. I want you to do the due diligence and see what nerd is. Yeah. And that's the point. But in the same vein, that's what I do for In Search Of. I do my due diligence and I go out and I listen to all these artists that niggas have never heard of, that I have never heard of up until 6 o'clock on Sunday or whatever, when I'm cooking and I'm vibing to like a playlist that I put together. And it's just a bunch of artists with 10,000 monthly listeners and below. Like, a nigga could be on there with 15 monthly listeners. If he got some heat, it's heat. I need to get this out there.
Yeah, heat is heat.
Yeah.
I'm going to word it properly. So you're very well spoken.
Oh, thank you.
And how do you feel about when people try to say like
I talk white?
you have an extensive vocabulary and they try to associate that with whiteness?
I feel like that is just a cop out, and that's just, the continuance of, you don't want to give black people the props of being intelligent, articulate. You don't want to, you want to further dehumanize black folks. So you much rather compare us to white people than to say that we are people. You feel me?
Bruh, we make words. Who else is creating words?
I mean, feel me? That
Know what I
idiom.
mean? Bling,
come
bling.
on. Bling bling.
Know what I mean?
Lit. Come on, bro. Before
No cap.
No cap.
Before that, lit was just literature. Now it's fucking
Come on.
it's anything, bro. Come on. Like that's us. So
Yeah,
but
I
they
had to tap that.
deny that though, but then they use it. They don't want us to use it professionally, but then they want to use it any other time in their lives, period. Yeah. But they want to police us whenever we want to use our vocabulary that we came up with. Like, my nigga, come on.
That's a fact.
What are we doing? So, yeah, I
Don't
just
censor your brilliance, man. Your brilliance.
Thank you. It's just I don't. Yeah. I've been getting that my whole life. Like I was like bullied in the 5th and 6th grade and shit, and it was primarily because of the way I looked. Like I had wild short braids that stopped right here, and my nose was really big. I didn't grow into my nose yet, and I used to have like tucked in shirts and shit. I was really like, I looked like a nigga who should have been bullied, I guess.
I'm about to say, if your brain stopping back here,
Yeah.
you already know people was coming for you.
But I came from the South, you know what I mean? Like I was born in Louisiana, and I didn't move up here till like 1st grade.
Oh,
Really?
So
What
I
part
was
of Louisiana?
Fort Polk, Louisiana. My dad was in the military.
Dope.
So I was a military brat. We was moving all over the place and whatnot. So I was just like, damn. And that was being in Buffalo was my first time in the hood. Like I had never been in the hood before. Like I was on military bases for ages 1 through 7, 8, 6. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, well, I don't know what the fuck a hood is, but I guess we going there. I don't know what the fuck a food stamp is. Like I literally thought that was a stamp, my nigga. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Nah, bro, it was a culture shock. I got here. I stopped getting shit for Christmas, and niggas said it was tight on money. My parents ended up getting a divorce like 2 years later, like 6 years later, 7 years later, 8 years later, 2008, 2007. And it was just wild, like trying to fit in and whatnot. And I realized I just couldn't fit in. Like I'm not a hood nigga, but I was raised in the hood, like from 6, 7, 8 onward to 19. So like my life was just like turned upside down and shit. And it was just like going from upper middle class to extremely lower middle class. It was just crazy. Like
Not fitting in can definitely be a blessing sometimes.
it was.
Yeah, that's true.
I was always known as like the weird nigga who brought his Walkman to school and shit. And I used to have Get Rich or Die Trying in there in search of.
Bro, I was just playing that yesterday.
Yo, that shit is
All
fire,
day.
bro. Like I had the Eminem show in there. I had wild shit, bro. I was going crazy. Flowetry. I always had music on me, and people would make fun of the music I was listening to because I wasn't listening to the Yin Yang Twins. I wasn't listening to David Banner. I was listening to D4L. I was listening to them Franchise Boys and shit.
You wrote that spectacular review on
You know what I mean? Like
Spectacular review.
whenever y'all recipes of Shawty
5X
Low,
team.
but whenever boys wanna read that, you know what I mean? That'll never happen because I ain't never doing that, never again. But yeah, so it was a culture shock. So all that sort of happening, and it just kind of, I don't know, like the way I spoke has just always been, or the way I talk has always just been like a thing. And I used to have like a really bad lisp. So it was just L's for me, bro. I wasn't getting no girls. It was crazy. Like I was scaring the girls with my and I was not going down. And the nigga was like, yeah, he easy target, so we about to beat his ass. It was what it was.
Man, you blessed, man.
If you heard that story and heard that, I guess. Like,
I'm looking at it from like where it is now, because it's like shit, I got beat up for being smart. Like,
that was a real thing.
But it got to a point where I was like, hell no, I'm gonna be beating niggas up. I'm gonna beat niggas up before they beat me up.
I was just like, I don't want to fight y'all boys. Like, why can't we just be mans in them? And they was like, yo, what? Nigga, you gay? I'm like, yo, what? So I'm like, yo, that's what you got?
That sounds like an episode of the Boondocks, bro. That sounds like some Boondocks.
I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, yo, what is going on? like, y'all niggas don't like Friends? Like,
telling you.
what is going on?
Not fitting in can be a
So
blessing.
when did it get to the point to where like you were able to start connecting with people though?
That was like,
Did music like help buffer that?
well, I had like, throughout all this happening, my man's Felix, I met him and he was like a really close friend, like 6th grade, 7th grade. And that was like the only connect. And then I had, my cousins and whatnot, like Philip and all them boys. But like 8th grade, I ended up getting like my first girlfriend, but that was terrible. She like cheated on me like 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, "No, please take me back."
Why are you holding his hand in the
Yeah, I was just like, "Yo, what's going on?" But it was like 9th grade. That's when everything like really, like I grew into myself. My confidence was like skyrocketing for some reason. I think it was because girls actually liked me at Tech. Like I didn't have to be something I wasn't. They liked this nerdy nigga, and I was like, "Oh, that's fire." We lit now, all right. I had like beads in my hair and shit, so I was just standing out. I was weird.
What era was that? I'm trying to think.
2009, 2010.
Isn't that when 50 and Kanye faced off?
Yeah, that was the
did
changing of the
graduation?
guard.
That was the changing up from being gangster was cool
so
to
the
switching to
perception changed like as a whole. So I didn't have to be some gangster nigga no more. Like I didn't have to live in my big brother's shadow and shit. I could just be my full nerd self, and I embraced it. Like, and I was wearing some wild shit back then. That was back when the new boys and all that shit was like
jeans.
really So I had the skinny jeans. I had the little raccoon tail on my back pocket and shit. All those wildin'. Had the Chuck Taylors in the Vans. Had the like superhero t-shirts and shit. Like, but I never changed the superhero t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like I still wear those to this day, and that was like an element of me of who I was, and I wanted to carry that. So I think it was 9th grade when the perception of who I was just changed. But I think it was because of my perception changed.
Man, I respect that. I respect your authenticity and
Thank you.
staying true to you, man. Because your story is dope as fuck. You're going to that next level of where you spoke it as a child, and now you're getting there. That's why I say you're blessed, because you can't have like those things.
But when he said that, I thought the same thing you said. I was like, where'd you?
I was like, I was getting beat up. They was wilding, mop. Yeah, you blessed.
Man, you gotta you gotta have the balance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know the lows to reach the highs. You feel me? Like,
Yeah, you blessed because I got shot at. I didn't get beat up.
I was like, damn, bro. Like,
That's where I thought you was about to go with it.
that's crazy, bro.
I mean,
I was like, damn, that's wild.
Yeah, but man, nah, cause like I've been the kid where you think you the hood nigga and you're trying to fit the element, but it's like, okay, all my friends are dying. Like I'm not barely getting into high school. Like, okay, something's have to shift, and I have to. You gotta find that real you.
Yeah, man.
So many kids get lost trying to fit into the crowd, join gangs and shit like that. Like I didn't know what. Like that's why I fuck with the people I fuck with so heavily. Like I fuck with you, Cherry, the same people like Hutch Tech Crew.
Yeah, man.
Like
me too.
All my friends, like prior to that, I like was like gang affiliations.
Yeah.
Same.
So it was like I didn't know what real friends was. I knew what a gang was, but I didn't really understand like friends and like being yourself until like I got to Tech and started meeting the people.
You found yourself.
Yeah.
You were liberated.
That's why I respect you. That's why I say you're blessed. You're alive. You know what I mean? You went through your struggles. You got to where you at.
And through all that, like I've been around some real shit. You know what I mean? Like seeing my big brother being stabbed at the Gus Macker. Wild. You know what I mean? Like in real time, a drive-by shooting. In real time, like one of my friends drowning, dying. Like one of my friends, like rest in peace, Reese. Not even recently, like 6 years ago at this point. But he died from like he had epilepsy. My guy Nick, rest in peace. But like I've seen some crazy shit, like friends overdosing on opioids and shit like that. Like, and so like through 2007 to 2022, it's been crazy, bro. Like it's been wild. But I don't know. I just remain humble, remain hopeful, remain optimistic. I've always been the cheery, smiling a lot, nigga. Like I don't know, man. You can't keep me down for too long. I'm gonna find some hope somewhere.
Word, same, bro. Tell your story, bro. Keep writing.
That's a fact. I'm up. I'm writing all the time. You feel me?
You gotta get that documentary going on the blog.
Yeah, I do want to get the. I mean, I don't want to give too much information out because I don't want niggas taking my shit running with it.
We could
but-
beep it out. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Yeah. Beep out all this. I want to do a blog era documentary about all the rap shit that was going on around that time. And I want this shit to like cover like Mac Miller, J. Cole, Kendrick, all of our golden era giants that we deemed like the giants that we have now. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Mac Miller, Drake, all them, man, Cudi. Like I would love to like just document the college circuit era. Woo! Like
The Karma Loop.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Karma Loop. Yo, so when do you say
crazy.
when do you say the blog era actually started?
I think like
If we had to put a year on it.
2000, the end of 2008, 2009. I think that's the start. Because like around that time, you got Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks going crazy.
Kid
Cudi going crazy, and then the breakout mixtape, So Far Gone.
Oh yeah.
And then that shit just
Yeah.
and
Set
then,
everything on
and then
fire.
literally,
Yeah.
not to be cheesy, but nothing was the same.
Yeah, it was a wildfire.
Yeah.
after that.
And then after that, you got Cole, and Kendrick follows shortly after. You got Wale.
You were
And then,
big. We talked about it before. He was one of the people that really got me into Wale, just through like.
Shout out to
'cause we went
Wale.
high school, yeah. So just through Facebook, he'll like be tweeting Wale lyrics.
yeah, bro.
Talking about the different sneakers and all that shit. I was in the
And my man Shaq is the one that got me into Wale because he was
Word.
like heavy into Wale, bro.
Oh, we just seen Shaq.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. Shout out to Shaq.
You seen him at Boufle or Bouflo? He was doing the yoga shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out my guy. That's one of my best friends, man. Shout out my man.
shout out to
And shout out to T. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Zeke. All my guys. But yeah, he put me on to Wale, and we both bonded over Cole and Mr. Almec's electrical engineering class. We was in the back sharing headphones and shit, listening to Friday Night Lights and shit. I was like, oh my god.
You know,
like, bro.
what's his name? Denzel put me on the Friday Night Lights.
Oh, and then Denzel, yo.
Like listening on the way to
Bro.
one of them games like Akron. I'm just like, yo.
And then me and Zell, like, we bonded over Frank Ocean. He was a part of that blog era too.
I think Zell put me on the Frank.
We
Yeah,
bonded
he's the first
over
person
Frank.
that played Nostalgia Ultra.
We bonded over Frank, Nostalgia Ultra, and then we bonded over Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then Good Fridays. Come on. How can you talk about the blog era?
yeah.
Christian Dior denim flow? Man, get the... Yo, bro, I need that.
What was your favorite blog of the blog era?
Probably Two Dope Boys. Cause that Two Dope Boys, Tyler the Creator shit was like that Goblin release was just, man, that was crazy, bro. Like I even like, I mean, they're like a full-fledged magazine now, but like early Complex days, man, those Cudi and Kanye covers, bro, the Pharrell cover, like them shit's iconic, bro. And I think it was and they weren't really a blog either. They're like a full-fledged magazine, but it shows you how much shit I was reading. But the GQ cover with Wale, Cudi, and Drizzy, and they're like on top of like washing machines and shit, and they're just, that was supposed to be like the big three. That's such a wild photo shoot to go back and look at now. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah. But it was like how different the times were, just looking at how buddy they were and shit, and then where we all evolved and progressed towards. Like, that's something worth documenting, like for real.
One thing I want to see somebody document is the shift in fashion of hip hop from like literally going from like polo era to our like blog backpacker era. Oh, I love that era. To now the designer.
Yeah,
I really,
heavy.
Yeah, I really, because like, bro, you could pop wearing a white tee, like cargo shorts, fucking Converses. It went from that to fucking
Everybody had the camo
Robin
shorts on.
jeans. Yeah.
Camo shorts,
Definitely.
high socks.
Camo shorts, high socks, pow chain, G-Shock.
Polo.
Come on.
The pow chain.
I had the crazy fake power chain from Hot Topic. I had two colors. I was like, yo, nigga, I think I'm Big Sean, bro. Fuck with me, bro. Like, I had the two power chains. I had the
You get your snapbacks.
I
Snapbacks
did
is going
with the
crazy.
Tisa on the joint, Tisa on the back. I had the Raiders. I had the old school Bills.
I had the
bro.
Raiders joint,
Come
too.
on. That shit, you can get that off now, bro. You can get that off right now. Somebody look at you crazy like G-Shock, and you rock it with confidence. Nigga, get on my face. This shit fire.
Give them the history on it.
Yeah, they gonna be like, damn, I need that, but I don't want to tell them. I don't want to make you. You know what I mean? But now it's like Balenciaga this, Balenciaga that, Dior this. It's
Dior
like,
me.
Yeah, bro. I'm like that. Nah, I'm cool on that. I'll be still rocking like Billionaire Boys Club, Ice Cream, Supreme, Huff.
Yeah, that shit is timeless.
It's timeless, bro.
yeah,
Like
timeless
I don't care, bro. It is what it is. But yeah, like that too. The fashion, like everything about that era is just like, man. It's and it might be nostalgia, but even during the era, I was still like, yo. I was on the blogs. I was checking for Lucy's from Drake. I was checking for Lil J. Cole, Lucy's. Like when he freestyled over "Devil in a New Dress" for Friday Night Lights. When that shit leaked, it was just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Was that
Had to be
Bill?
there.
Was that Vilmatic?
That was Vilmatic.
Vilmatic,
Oh
yeah.
my God, he went crazy, and it was like. And then on top of that, Friday Night Lights and then Sideline Story, right? And it was just like, damn, bro, like that wasn't even what we wanted. Then he came back with Born Sinner. The blog era was crazy, bro.
I'm glad that I wasn't the only one. But like when I heard Sideline Story, I was so.
not it.
I'm like, bro, I heard.
It was some shit on.
I heard
It
15.
was some shit on the
But I heard
Rise and
15
Shine?
of like these 18
Yeah,
songs.
that's a track. Yeah, like
That
5
shit-
of them joints was off of Friday Night Lights and the Warm Up.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
Rise and Shine
That
was
shit hurt
that's
me.
my shit to this day. Rise and Shine is crazy,
Yeah,
but
Applejack, he coming
Mr.
from my spot.
Yeah, bro. Like, coming from he writing some shit. Like, yeah, that's my shit, bro. I used to literally wake up early as hell in high school, and I used to blast that shit in my room. Like my stepmom used to get mad as hell and shit. But that was my shit, bro. But this Mr. Nice Watch was not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite, but
Come on, bro. What we doing? Like he was
A lot of
really.
people say that, bro. I like that.
He was
song.
trying to.
he was
like
finding.
that
He was
song?
looking. He was looking for that thing. Like he was looking for that song.
That was crazy.
He was. Yeah, that song was wild.
That's my man's. When I interview him, I'm gonna be like, yo, that was a wild decision. walk me through that. Like
through that
that's
thought process,
crazy. Paint that picture for me. Take me there. You in the booth with Hove, Mr. Nice Watch. Go ahead. Like that's crazy, bro. But yeah, man, that's just it's an era that I feel like the generation that we're in now, like the SoundCloud era. I mean, well, that's about to leave, but I feel like there's a lot of kids who missed out on that and could really take some inspiration or even just some information, you know what I mean? Just about what we grew up on in high school and going to college with.
It's changing so fast. Like,
So
'cause
fast, bro.
now it's the TikTok era. Like the Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
And then
blew that up.
every song literally has something in the first 5 seconds that you can act out to. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you really go through and see all like the crazy hit songs that go crazy on TikTok, it's the ones that you can really do something in the first 5, 10, 15 seconds. And it's like,
That's ridiculous.
what is that doing to music?
Yeah. So, and before we go, where do you see, like, you've called out some you forecasted your life. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, that's easy. Interviewing at the Grammys, interviewing at the Billboard Awards, having my own Apple Music radio talk show where I interview artists and also curate my own playlist. Basically, everything I'm doing with In Search Of and taking that same energy, putting it on Apple Music and or Spotify or Tidal. I'm not picky. God. So the Grammys are coming, Billboards are coming, Latin Music Awards coming, BET Awards are coming, all this coverage is coming. I'm going to be one of them niggas who are going to be in front of the camera a lot. So whoever's seeing this for the first time, you see me on camera for the first time, please get used to that. Yeah, man, all this shit is going to happen. Like, for real. This shit it was written. Not just by me, but by God. Like, this is the universe. My ancestors are very, very much pushing and making shit happen. So I can foresee myself having all those blessings and more. And also being healthy, you know, reaching out to young Black and brown writers, boys and girls specifically from Buffalo, and wanting to get them into what I'm doing and showing them that English class is not boring and that you can actually take it with crazy shit if you're creative enough. You know what I mean? So not only do I see success for me, but, you know, reaching back to the community and giving them that olive branch that I was searching for my whole life. So
We look forward to seeing you at the Grammys in less than 10 years. But
We're going to be there together, man.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
we appreciate you stopping by.
Hold on, I want to ask one last thing. This is a quick one, quick answer.
All right, bet.
Because it's something that's been going around. Who wins in the verses, J. Cole or Wale?
Cole.
Bet. No label to pop. Yo.
Cool.
That's what I say too, Cole.
Yeah, man.
I'd say
But
Cole,
it is.
It's gonna be.
It's close
it's
though.
gonna be a
That's
slugfest.
close. Yeah.
Because Wale gonna come with some.
He got the
bangers,
hits. Yeah.
and
He go.
he got some B-sides.
Yeah, he got guest features too. That's
He do, man. They got some shit, bro.
He got some shit, but I'm taking Cole.
You know,
I'm taking Cole already, but like Wale, my man. So, but Cole, man.